Alright guys, what's going on? So yeah, once again, I'm completely way behind in doing videos. I've got a ton of stuff to show, and I'm sure most other people that you're subscribed to has showed this in droves by now at this point. So I don't know, man. Just 2018's been a weird year. I've not had zero interest in doing videos. Actually, I was actually going to do a separate video about this, but I'm kind of planning on just taking some time at the beginning of next year and just kind of reevaluating, regrouping, and just kind of see where we can go with this. So because I don't know, I just been feeling bored with it. It's not that I don't like talking about music. It's just I don't know. There's something about it. I just don't want to do videos, but actually feeling it today, so we'll go ahead and knock it out because I've got a ton to show. I may break this up into 2 videos. We'll just see how long this is going to be. I don't want this to be any more than 30 minutes or anything. So, yeah, I've got at least, I don't know, 10, 12 to show, plus a whole other stack. So we'll just see what we do when we get there. So, yeah, if I'm showing stuff that everyone's already shown before, I apologize. But, as I said, just way behind, as usual. There's another thing too, man, where I've been so slight this year. Thank you to all the people who actually still subscribe to me at this point, because it's like I have not deserved that whatsoever. But yeah, your support is definitely welcome and appreciated. So thank you guys. So we're just listening to an old classic. I've been really on an old school binge here lately. And, yeah, I mean, there's really no reason to show it other than just to play in some soundtracks here. So, listen to Pestilence, Consuming Impulse, everyone and their fucking brother knows this one. And I just kind of was in the mood to listen to it, but this is kind of cool because I don't know how many of them come like this. This is just my copy from Hammerheart. So, it's a slipcase version, but the inside of the CD actually has the original artwork. So, that's kind of cool. Something at least somewhat different. And there's a couple live shows on here, one from Bagel in '89 and Bockham, whatever, in '88, and just a Consuming Impulse demo track there for the bonus. So yeah, I don't know, just was in the mood for something old, and just been kind of where my kick's been lately. Just because this year, I mean, I started this year wanting to kind of really get back into getting old stuff, because there's a ton of stuff in here that I really need to get in here, is what I meant to say. A lot of old classics I still don't own, so that was kind of what I was going to do this year, and then it just kind of, there was so much, new stuff coming out that I had to kind of get away from that. So, man, we're just rambling here for like first 3 minutes. So the first thing I want to show you is a record I got, which is weird because I've really not got records at all this year. Yeah, this hasn't been out very long. Well, shit, maybe it has. I don't know. I just kind of spotted it the other day and was like, yeah, I gotta go ahead and get that. Because I don't know much from this band. This is Sadistic Intent, Impending Doom Before the Conflict. This is just a bootleg of some of their old stuff. Like, it has the Impending Doom EP, the Conflict Within demo, a Calm Before the Storm. And, yeah, it's got a couple other, like, singles and stuff from other compilations they've done. The artwork's fantastic, by the way. It's just really well done. It is just a bootleg, but it's put out by Reek of Death Records. They did a really good job on it. I don't know, man. I'm just kind of like, I really don't like to get bootlegs, because I feel like, the musician and the band should get the credit and the money for it, but hopefully Sadistic is getting it, but it's just something so cool that I couldn't pass up, so I just kind of like, fuck it. It's a gatefold, and you've got all the different, I guess, photocopies of the old demos and stuff that's on here, so that's pretty cool. And it's all listed in order and separated well. Here's the singles it's talking about, the covers they have on here. Sorry for the glare. Yeah, man, it's really well done. It's really well packaged. It has no inner sheet or anything, but it's kind of like, well, fuck, why you need it. Everything's on here. It does come on white vinyl, and I think some of them were separated by, I think they were trying to do a decent job of separating it by demo, and I really don't think they needed to have this on a double LP, but they do. But yeah, I'm pretty cool with it. So you got the logo there, and the old Sadistic Intent logo, which that's a nice little touch. And I do believe every one of these labels are different. Hang on, let me get this one back in. I don't know how I could pull this thing out of the fucking sleeve and then completely forget where the opening for it was. So like I was saying, I don't remember how old this was. I was thinking it was fairly new. It was just kind of new to me because it just sort of popped up. Because this sleeve already has some bad ring wear on it or something. It's got some gunk built up on it. Here's the other one. It's got the Dark Sadistic Death Metal there. And the current logo. And yeah, it's on white, obviously. So I believe there's also a clear version of this. And maybe one more, but I'm fairly certain it's just those two. So yeah, man, I really don't know much Sadistic Intent. I mean, I don't know why that is. They're one of my favorite death metal bands for sure. I'll just do this later. Ton of killer releases and all that sort of stuff. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just been yet another one of those bands that I've just not got around to getting all their stuff. This mainly. Going from that to a new one. So I don't know what I've actually titled this video, but if it's what I think it's going to be, this whole entire thing is going to be like pretty much brand new death metal albums from bands putting out their debut full length. So I mean, I didn't even really notice this when I pulled out all these albums to show. It just kind of happened that way, so it's just whatever. So if I say debut full length, I'll be saying it a lot, so don't get too pissed. This is a fantastic album, by the way. Absolutely in love with this one. It's yet another one that I just can't stop listening to. It's Outer Heaven. Realms of Eternal Decay came out on Relapse. Just a really killer fucking death metal band out of Pennsylvania. Their debut full length, obviously. Really reminiscent of like Gatecreeper or something like that. So, I mean, you've got the death metal stuff, but you also have a lot of Doom influence, and they do break out the hardcore riff pretty frequently. Yeah, so it's some really cool shit. The artwork is absolutely fantastic. Can't get enough of just staring at it. It's just very groove-laden, some nasty production, not really raw or anything, but just kind of putrid sounding. An absolute killer album, man, start to finish. And I just love being able to fold this out and just kind of looking at all the little details on here. It's fucking awesome. Absolutely one of my favorite albums to come out this year, at least on the death metal side of things. So there be that. And it's another one where I've had this one forever and I've just not got around to showing it. So there it is. Finally get that done. Next, we have one that I just kind of stumbled across and just found it up on Bandcamp. I was like, that just looks horrid. I'm going to check it out. And I actually, it was really fucking good. And PRC Music doesn't put out bad stuff, at least in my opinion. This is Torture, Die in Pain. Look at that fucking art. That's absolutely horrible. And I mean that in the best sort of ripping on this sort of way. I mean, that's terrible. But I love it. You know, you just can't get enough of staring at that. Awesome death thrash band out of Quebec. This is also their debut full length. And it's basically like 80s thrash. Got some death metal stuff in there too. It's sort of hard to explain. I don't know. It's like 80s thrash with maybe a tiny hint of Morbid Angel, or I don't know. It's like Teutonic thrash with some Florida death metal influence, and I don't know, Autopsy Mental Funeral Area, something like that. But yeah, really cool album. Like I said, PRC doesn't put out bad stuff. Again, the artwork is absolutely atrocious, but I love this. Link in the description. I don't know how many of you have actually checked this out yet. Really cool shit, man. Don't let the art throw you off. Man, that's so bad that it's just absolutely awesome. I'm trying to match this. Just like, I don't know. It's fucking terrible, but it's great. Alright, what was next? Oh yeah. Another absolute burner of a death metal album from this year, and I think most people would agree with that. We have Hyperdontia, and the light's not going to really work with me to let you see the art, but you should know what it looks like by now. I think everyone's listening to this. Nexus of Teeth came out on Dark Descent. I believe this is their debut full length too. I know they put out an EP last year. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know, but. Just oppressively heavy Danish death metal, man. I don't know, I kind of likened it to Incantation and Dead Congregation, I guess. Absolutely love the production. The drums just sound apocalyptically heavy. Just very low tuning, crushing riffs. Guitars and bass are super loud in the mix, which is perfect for me. There's the inside. Yeah, just sheer tyrannical death metal. It's just got that really oppressive, you know, weighing you down feel, man. It's absolutely great. The riffs are goddamn, man, I can't say enough good stuff about that. Yeah, absolutely great. It's really going to be hard to top this one in any sort of end of the year list, at least for me. I don't know how the rest of you feel about it, but I mean, I've heard a lot of people really pushing this fucking record, and it's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, still don't own the fucking EP that came out. I believe it was last year, unless I'm thinking of another band, but I'm fairly certain of that. Can't get enough of this one either. I mean, this is constantly getting played. I gotta make some room here. I got shit laying everywhere. Let's go do a tape. And this is another one that I remember seeing it last year and just kind of, I didn't mean to pass it up. Just kind of got lost in the shuffle. This is just a demo, and I don't know how far along this was going to go, or if it was just, going to be a short-lived project or whatever, but I really enjoy it. This is some awesome shit. This is Necrofulgurate with Putrid Veil. This particular version was on Caverna Abysmal, and as far as I'm aware, it's just straight up US death metal, just a one-man project, and apparently dude just did this release and then said to hell with it, I'm not doing it no more. Or maybe it's just how it ended up working out, or maybe it's just I don't know, just a throwaway type of thing where it's just I got so much other shit to do. I don't know. I absolutely couldn't find any information out on this. So, but all it is it's a compilation really. It's 2 demos, and each demo had 2 tracks. So, and originally the funny thing about that, the original that came out with this had it came on 2 tapes. So it's like, okay, we're gonna have 1 song per side of the tape. It's just kind of wasteful, and that's just awesome. Just a black shell there. And this is kind of cool, man. It's got a card for each different demo. It doesn't say anything on it, but that's just kind of like a cool little touch. So you've got Demo 1, and I believe it's called Demo 2. Let me make sure. Yeah, just Demo 2, and like I said, 2 songs on each, and that's all there is to it, man. Here's the Demo 1 side and the Demo 2 side. So, I mean, there's the card. Demo 1, Demo 2. And that's really all there is to it, man. I mean, it's supposed to be like just straight up gnarly, raw death metal, and that's all there is to it, man. No frills in it whatsoever. Not supposed to be for posers, so I really don't know how I ended up with a copy of it, but yeah, really cool stuff. I really wish I hadn't passed on it last year. Just should have just went ahead and picked this up, but I mean, it's some really cool stuff. And again, it's just 4 tracks, and you kind of wish you could get a little bit more out of this just because it's so good, and I've really enjoyed listening to it. So maybe he'll get back into it later on. Maybe at least drop a few more releases would be cool to have, but I mean, as for it being what it is, it's really fun, and I've really enjoyed listening to that. So there that be. Oh god, it's been a long fucking day. I've got to wake up early so I can call in work, so I can spend all day digging the snow out of my driveway just so I can get out of here. Anyway, another one that everyone's been talking about that I'm just now getting to, another one of my favorites from this year. This is Infernal Coil, Within a World Forgotten. I know I picked this one up probably back in, I don't remember when it came out, but it was like August or September when I got it. So, I mean, it's been a while, obviously. It's like a Black Death grindcore type of deal from, I think from Boise, Idaho. It's just a straight up barrage of hellish, raw fucking fury, man. I mean, it really sounds, it's interesting because it sounds like it's just running out of control. It feels like it's just completely dissonant and there's no fucking rhythm to it at all, but then the more you listen to it, the more you pick up on the little vibes of how the riffs flow and just how everything's kind of operating just to kind of give off that vibe. But I mean, it's really a really tight band. The musicianship is absolutely flawless. Just check out 49 Sons. So you listen to the first 3 songs on here, and then it gets to 49 Sons, and you kind of like, yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I listened to this, the first track kind of threw me off, and then the more I get into it, the more you really feel how good the musicianship is. It's just amazing to listen to. Beautiful artwork, too. I mean, I'm trying to get the light right. And it kind of gives off that Left-Hand Path feel, but not really. I don't know, it's just kind of the way I'm looking at it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the spot gloss is a really nice touch, too, which I didn't even realize that until I'd had it for a good while, I think. I do believe Billy Anderson, who's done work for Weed Eater and Melvins and Leviathan and Dragged into Sunlight, you know, if it's the same guy I'm thinking of, he did production on this, and it just sounds great, man. There's that again. Not to completely keep re-showing the same thing, but yeah, man, absolutely great album. It's one of those that kind of like it throws you off at first, but then the more you listen to it, it just really grabs me, and man, I just get lost listening to this. Profound Lore. I don't know if I said that, but you probably didn't. Yeah, I think we got another one from Profound Lore. This is and another one everyone else has been talking about. Innumerable Forms. Punishment in Flesh. Death metal, or maybe some death doom out of Boston. It reminds me a lot of like Sorrow on the Forgotten Sunrise EP. So maybe mix that with like some, I don't know, early Amorphous, like on the Carillion Isthmus. Something like that. That's this kind of vibe I get. It was like the little bitty, you know, the little hooks and stuff that they put in there just kind of reminds me of just taking Sorrow and old Amorphous, putting that together. So that's just the kind of vibe I get. It's got members from, or current or ex-members of bands like Genocide Pact, Power Trip, Gahana, I think. Yeah, man, pretty cool. Really cool artwork, too. I mean, there's a lot of it to it. So, I mean, you got the front cover, obviously. You've got this. And you've got their other logo, plus all this other shit going on here. It's fucking cool. I like looking at it like this, too. Just really good vibe it puts out, man. I've really, really dug listening to this. So Profound Lore has really put out some good shit lately, as they always do, but especially this year. Yeah. Try not to talk too much about this, because I'm sure you're sick of hearing about them. I mean, I know everybody and their fucking mom's been railing about these fucking albums. Now we'll talk about one that I'd say probably most of you haven't heard. This one I just stumbled across on Bandcamp. I'd never heard anything about it, but it was $5. I was like, fuck yeah, let's just do it. This is a compilation called 4-Disc Pileup by Traffic Death. Man, I can't say enough awesome shit about this. This is amazing, man. It's like crossover grindcore from Des Moines, Iowa. I think Mortville. Yeah, Mortville Noise put this out. God damn, man. It's just, all this is just a compilation of all their previous releases. So they have four releases out, and then they just kind of combine them all into this one. So you have the artwork from every release on here, which is awesome. So you've got Dead End here. Split Personality. What's this other one? Terror on the Freeway. That's awesome. And Don't Be a Projectile down here, which is probably my favorite one. And I think it's got more close-ups on it inside. But man, it's so well done, you know. I mean, it's really cheap. They just put it all into one compilation. Like, who gives a fuck? It's great. Absolutely awesome release, man. The crossover stuff is great. The grindy stuff is really actually pretty chunky. And yeah, man, it's just really cool to see that they just put everything they've ever done into one package. It's just, I don't know. I just found that awesome because, you know, get it all at once. You don't have to buy it all separately. Which I normally am like, you know, I want it separately, but the fact that I could get it all for $5 is just great. And I think this is the back covers, so here's your front cover and your back cover of each album. And it's actually got lyrics for, I think, every single song. So there's Dead End. You can see it up close a little bit better. The artwork's actually really, really good. Split Personality, and you've got all the movie monsters and shit like that on here. Fucking great. What else we have? Getting on to Terror on the Freeway and more lyrics. I mean, it's great. There's Don't Be a Projectile. I love all the little details in that. So you got the crossover elements are absolutely amazing. You got some punk in here too. Of course, the hardcore thrash, but the grindcore. I mean, it's done really, really well. Oh fuck! And of course, I'm gonna drop it. And I believe it's got a, yeah, here's a photo of the band in here in the tray. Let me just fold this crap, put this back in here first. Yeah, this video's been shit, but you know, I don't know, it's like I get out of the vibe of doing it very often, and it just kind of, I suck at it even worse. So there's that, man. Traffic Death. Really, really love this. Definitely go pick this up if you can. It's super cheap, and if you're a fan of any of that stuff, man, I guarantee you'll dig that. Okay, getting down to, yeah, I'm definitely going to post that other shit later, so we're already up to 20 minutes. An old classic. The only reason I'm showing this one just because I didn't have it. It was just like, fuck, you know, I finally got around to picking this up. Great album. Protector, The Shedding of Skin. I believe it's their third overall full length, and probably their most well known outside of maybe Golem, or something along those lines. What year did this come out? 91. This is just a High Roller reissue. So, yeah. There you go. Inside. So, yeah, I mean, I just had an opportunity to get this cheap, and I snatched it up. So, just amazing German death metal. Well, let's see. Yes, I believe... Did they move to Sweden? I think they moved to Sweden. Originally a German death metal band anyway, so I don't know when they moved or where they moved, so it's whatever. But, yeah, I mean, an absolute must-have for any collection of any type of death metal at all. And it's just kind of cool to get that one knocked out. And finally... 5 years away did this band some good, man, because this is a fucking great album. Deicide, Overtures of Blasphemy. Yeah, absolutely staying out of the studio helped them because they've really honed their skills and made this a fucking killer album. I thought In the Minds of Evil was good. This is actually way better in my opinion. The riffs are solid. The leads are solid. The songwriting is absolutely top notch. I mean, it's not, you know, Once Upon the Cross or Legion or self-titled. It's not in comparison with that, but it's just a really well done album. A lot of fun, very groove-laden again, and I've really, really enjoyed it, man. 12th overall full length, man. They've been around forever. So yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't want to rip on it and make it sound like I hate this album or that it's not that great. Like, you know, saying that their old stuff is better. Like, you're not going to top that, those old records. You know, but I mean, it's really cool to see that this band is actually taking their time and focusing and honing everything into their songwriting because, you know, they're still putting out killer shit when a lot of their peers, a lot of their peers are starting to put out shit at this point or have been doing it for years. So, yeah, I just think that's really cool. Mark English was definitely a really, really good, for Monstrosity, a really good addition to this band after Jack Owen left. So, I'm absolutely thrilled by this. I remember seeing this coming out, and I was like, God, I don't know. I really don't know about this. And what was it they released? Excommunicated was like they had a lyric video for it. And I was just, it's whatever. But I mean, really good album, man. Absolutely. I don't want to say it's phenomenal, but I mean, they did a damn good job on this. I'll say that. So definitely. Yeah, I believe that's it, man. I'm trying not to be so slow and, you know, lazy on this shit, but I mean, it's whatever. So, like I said, I'm probably going to take some time in the early part of the new year and kind of refigure out what I'm going to do here. I do have, probably just one more update, unless I can think of something else that I need to do. And, yeah, then we'll be doing album of the year list, so that's coming up. I'm still working on that. I've barely even started on it, to be honest with you, so, whatever. We'll get to it when we get to it. But look for those before the end of the year for sure. So, again, all the new people subscribing, I don't deserve it, but thank you for doing that and showing support and all that, and all the people who haven't abandoned me at this point. I'm going to really want to get back on the path of doing, you know, at least one a week or one every 2 weeks. So, we'll see how she goes, man. But thank you all for supporting me and checking out the video and all that. I appreciate it, and see you next time.